live stream of the 13th round of the 14th season of AOR, and we're here on the PS4 side of things for the Italian Grand Prix. I am Nathan, or PS Luton Rules as my YouTube channel is known, and I'm joined in the commentary box not with Alan. He unfortunately is missing this race. Instead, I'm joined with the former AOR driver racing just last season. It is RBOS. So how do you reckon this qualifying session is going to go? I mean, we haven't seen any drivers set in any laps yet, so I just want to know, have you got any early predictions for who's going to be right up towards the front? Because you've raced with a lot of these drivers here.
Yeah, indeed, that is the case, and I remember Ali K being very strong at this circuit. I believe he got pole in last season, so he'll definitely be looking to do that again to improve on his championship chances. And I think this is one of the stronger tracks for him, so he definitely wants to get some points here on his opponents.
Yeah, certainly. Ali K, of course, the current championship leader on 149 points, and actually his championship lead was cut quite a bit at the last Grand Prix, the Belgian Grand Prix, which, if you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. It is on the Apex Online Racing YouTube channel. And it was a bit of a slow burner, but certainly quite an interesting race come the end. And we've just seen, well, we are seeing the first set of qualifying times come in. We've got RC Alonso currently as the quickest with a 1 minute 20.4. Synthetic in second, Jake LFC in third. I should point out actually that the driver who took pole position in season 13 for the Italian Grand Prix was not Ali K. It was actually Jay Fawn.
Oh, it must have been season 12 then, yeah.
Quite possibly, Ali K had quite a miserable time last time out. It was a wet Italian Grand Prix. The qualifying session I don't believe was, but it was a wet Grand Prix. Yeah, so Ali K
somewhere at the back in that one.
Yeah, you DNF'd actually. You were 16th in qualifying and then DNF'd on the race. So didn't want to bring up bad memories there. But anyway, Aresi is currently on pole position. I should mention, actually, we have only got 14 drivers on the grid. There are a number of drivers missing. I know Kian will be missing. I believe he's busy with university work, I believe. And also, Gamer De Best is another driver who I know is definitely missing from this race. But Novo Tank has rejoined, having missed the past 5 races. The guy who won the first round of this season is currently 3rd in qualifying, so he may well have missed the last 5 races, but he hasn't lost any pace. 3rd already halfway into the qualifying session. Aresi in pole position, and Aresi actually last season qualified in 2nd and finished in 2nd. So Aresi, it looks like, this could be the 2nd season in a row where he gets a decent finish at Monza, but then again, qualifying is one thing and the race is quite another. Synthetic is currently 2nd in the championship and 2nd in qualifying. Novo Tank 3rd, RC Alonso in 4th, and well, if you saw the Belgian Grand Prix, you'll know RC Alonso he was one of the many drivers to be caught out by tyre wear issues come the end of the previous Grand Prix. As I said, if you want to check out the Belgian Grand Prix, it's on the Apex Online Racing channel. As I said, very exciting end. Big C currently in 5th, Ollie D in 6th, and Ali K, who you touted to be right up there, is currently only in 10th. So, I mean, he's away down, well, I say away down the field. Currently, as it stands, there's only just over half a second separating pole position to 10th place, actually, to Ali K. And then you've got Wooly, H Racing Green, and Alex, who are all the way off, and Simo, who actually hasn't set a lap time yet. So has your predictions changed? Ali K away down? Do you still reckon he'll be right up there? In fact, how many improvements do you reckon we'll see?
Well, it's still very close between the top 10, so every driver in the top 10 has made a really good effort to get that time, and still I think Ali K can put in a decent 2nd lap and improve on his position. But I mean, other than that, I am kind of surprised to see Alex so far off the pace. Maybe he made a mistake somewhere because he is just under 2 seconds away from pole position. So that's
Yeah,
pretty bad for him. I mean,
yeah, I
in
mean, that's
seasons
certain.
12 and 13 he was winning races, and he was in season 12 even a championship contender. So it is quite a bad effort from him.
Yeah, but I think, as you said, he must have made a mistake, or in some way that isn't, a representative time. As you can see, well, certainly I'm seeing on my screen, all of the drivers did set their first qualifying lap on the super softs, so there's no tyre difference as it stands. And in fact, we did see that at qualifying for the previous Grand Prix, there were drivers who, at least initially, were setting qualifying lap times on different tyres, potentially to get a differing strategy, or to set themselves up for the race. But then again, there's only, as we know, if you qualify in the top 10, you have to start on the tyres you qualify on, and since there's only 14 drivers currently racing at this Grand Prix, the chances are that, well, most of them, statistically most of them, will end up in the top 10. And we're seeing a lot of drivers come out of the pits for what will presumably be their final flying lap here in qualifying. Synthetic, Ollie D. In fact, it's increasing by the second the amount of drivers who are out. So, RBOS, you're a former top tier AOR driver. I mean, a 1 minute 20.2 for Aresi. That's the lap time he's set at the moment. Do you reckon that will be beaten? A 1 minute 20.2? Is that really good, or is there still room for improvement there?
Honestly, I'm not sure, because these 2017 cars, they're quite a bit different than the 2016 cars, but I mean, it's now quite a bit later into the session, and the track has definitely improved. So I think we may even see that time go down. Maybe Alex in particular will definitely want to catch up. But I'm on board with Synthetic right now. He just started this flying lap. So, oh, wait, there we go. Big lockup into turn 1 from Synthetic. Currently in second place, he is just 0.05 of a second behind Aresi in the Sauber, so he will be looking possibly to beat the 1 minute 20.2 benchmark. Pushing really hard there through the chicane and into the Lesmos, carrying quite a bit of speed. There's actually a car ahead of him though. I'm not sure if he's on a flying lap. No, he's not. He's slowing down that big C.
Anyway,
a bit of a mistake there to the Roscari, sliding a little bit. That might lose him a little bit of time now. We'll see.
So do you reckon this could be a better time from Synthetic? You said there's a mistake, so do you reckon he will actually move up from second?
Well, I'm not sure. It is a very close field, so all of these mistakes will matter, and the time was not an improvement. I'm not sure if he has fuel for another fast lap, but still the tires will have worn out by now. So he's at quite a disadvantage, as Ali K, meantime, sets pole position with a 121. 120.1, I mean.
Yeah, but I think that just proves that you know your stuff. I know it looked like for a while Ali K wasn't going to be towards the top, and Ali K is the current championship leader, so I don't think anyone's doubting his pace. But yeah, currently on top in qualifying, just like you predicted, but there's still 43 seconds left to go. RC Alonso improved up to
yellow
second
flag
place.
in sector 2. Some must have spun out there. Oh no, that's just Carrick's going a little bit slowly.
Yeah,
he's preparing for his
that.
own timed lap. Anyway.
Actually, we got Simo. Oh no, Simo actually going incredibly slowly round Parabolico. I thought he was going to set a lap time. Well, I think he will set a lap time, but I'm not sure how representative it's going to be.
He didn't set a lap time so far, so he definitely wants to set one. And
well, he has just set one.
Yeah, he just set one, but it's still not as competitive as he wants. as I'm on board with Nervo Tank right now. When I raced, he was quite a good driver, possibly the best driver on the grid, so he'll probably want to be up there as well. But I think he was away now for a bit of time, so he might not be as competitive, he might be a little bit rough, since he hasn't raced for a while.
Jake LFC sideways on the track.
Well, Nervo just drove straight through Jake there on the run to Parabolica.
Well, Jake has just been disqualified. I mean, he was sideways on the track. I think it said he was actually disqualified for going the wrong way,
Yeah,
which means that everyone behind him has gained a position.
Yeah, there's Nervo Tank in the 3rd place. Ali K now down to 4th. He's not setting another lap. Aresi improved as well to 2nd, and RC Alonso with a 120.0. So far, pole position for him. And we'll see what Carrix does. He's only 6th. I think that's the grid. Yeah, everyone's going
Well, I think
slowly.
Alex is actually coming around the final corner, but
No,
I
he's
don't
going
think he's on a
slowly.
hot lap.
He's going slowly,
And then-
so he's not on a time
Yeah.
lap. That's the grid.
Yeah, that
So
is
RC
everyone.
Alonso with a brilliant lap of 120.0, the only driver to break into the 120.0, and also really close qualifying as well, with just 2 tenths separating the top 10.
Yeah,
Synthetic with that mistake in the end ended up costing him quite a lot of places there. And also he's
Actually, that is
starting.
a very good point.
Yeah, and also he's starting in 10th, which means he is on worn out tires a little bit, which might matter in the race. And also he doesn't get the free choice like the, for example, Hate Racing Green or Wally get.
That's a very valid point you bring up, actually, with all the drivers being so close. I mean, we normally see the fields be very close, but we've never seen the drivers, the top 10, be separated by such a small margin. 2 tenths separating the top 10. And as you pointed out, Synthetic, you were on board during his lap, during his 2nd lap,
Yeah.
and you said made a couple of mistakes, and that's proved to be even more substantial than I could possibly have expected. But RC Alonso will be starting on pole position for the Italian Grand Prix. Aresi in 2nd, Nervotank 3rd, Ali K in 4th, the current championship leader in 4th, Alex 5th, Kerex 6th, now you got Clarky, Big C, Ollie D, Synthetic, H Racing Green, Wooly, Simo, and then JKLFC, who will be starting at the back because he got disqualified, so that's docked him a lot of positions. I don't know what lap time he actually set, but
Let me just
certainly...
see, it says wrong way, that's why he got disqualified.
Yeah.
Maybe
And his best lap time...
maybe he went for a spin and tried to rejoin the track.
I think that is potentially what happened. I know when I started spectating him after that point, he was sideways on the straight just after
Yeah, I
the
was
Ascari
spectating
chicane, so...
Nervotank and I saw Jake, Nervotank pass through Jake on my screen.
Yeah, well, he was disqualified by
Yeah.
that point anyway.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be an all-dry race, unlike the Season 13 Italian Grand Prix where it was wet for the entirety, actually. There was that race, it was a question of whether to go onto the wet tyres, whereas here, certainly won't be the case. I don't even think it's going to rain, and seriously, if it does, I don't think it's going to be full wet by the time the checkered flag comes out. So, while we're waiting for it to load, I'll just ask for a quick prediction. Race win, or who do you reckon is going to excel here?
Well, I mean, Alonso obviously has quite a big advantage starting from pole position, but I think actually because of the slipstream, those that are starting in 3rd or 4th might have a better race. They might have a better chance of overtaking the front 2 into turn 1. And I know Nervotank, he's very good with overtakes, so we might see a bit more from him in the race.
Hopefully so. Novotank won the first race in this season and, as you said, proven good driver. I don't think he's going to be going down without a fight. But the lights are on for the 13th round in the Season 14 Italian Grand Prix on the PS4 AOR League, and it is underway. I see Alonso, not particularly clean start, but he is still leading for the time being as two Ferraris side by side.
Second, yeah.
And actually, Aresi's going to be able to hold it in second, just ahead of his teammate Ali K. But actually, Ali K, not the best run off the first chicane. And I think Kerex is going to go down his inside, round the curve of Grande. So Kerex has moved up to third place. That is a very good start for him. Unless Ali K is going to locking up the front wheels. But Kerex hopping over the curb and actually... not a brilliant exit for Kerex, so Ali K heading into the first Lesmo will retake third place, and this amazing scrapping for third, fourth place means that in fact there's already quite a big gap between the top two and then all those behind. It's Ali K, Kerex, Novotank in fifth, Alex in sixth, and then Ollie D in seventh, but heading up to, actually Novotank, I thought he was going to make a move there, but actually didn't come the end, round the Ascari chicane. And a 27 lap Grand Prix, but we've almost done a lap already. I saw Red Bull get pushed out there, but I don't think any harm done. And heading down towards the final corner, Novotank still not able to make a move. And Monza, a very high average speed circuit. That is one lap done of this Grand Prix already, with RC Alonso leading, Aresi in second, and then Ali K.
Putting a lot of pressure on Ali K, and I saw him going defensive into Ascari, and now he's going defensive again into turn one. And Kerex also held it really beautifully around the outside there. That is a pretty good move, but Ali now has the inside line into Curva Grande, and he is able to defend, slightly defensive there, but Kerex still on the inside. We'll get the better exit from here, but Ali K with the inside line. I think he keeps third here. Yeah, he does. But I see Novotank as well trying to get into the action. This is not an overtaking spot, Lesmo 2, but he pushes Kerex wide, and now he has quite a good run on this straight into Ascari, but obviously Kerex with inside line. We'll see what happens here. Novotank just outbrakes him around the outside, and that's pretty good. Got a little bit off track though, I've noticed that. Maybe we'll get a warning for that. We'll see. But Ali K now got himself a little breathing space. But speaking of breathing space, the gap to the leaders is 4.5 seconds already, as Aresi sets the fastest lap of the race there. And Kerex getting back past Novotank. So now these two battling is allowing Ali K to pull ahead as well.
Yeah, that has been the story of this Grand Prix so far. It's just been drivers that have been battling very hard, as we saw Ali K. Well, it was a three-way battle for third place between Ali K, Kerex and Novotank, which Ali K has now won, but actually Kerex has got a bit of a gap over Novotank. Certainly I don't think a move's going to be
If you can push on this lap maybe and try and pull out a bit of a gap to Novotank, but I know that is easier said than done, because Novotank is a seriously good driver.
Well, and you would know, this is the benefit of having a former AOR driver here commentating, is you actually know you've raced against a lot of these people, so you can size up just how good they are. I mean, I know that was a different game back in those seasons, but still, you seem to be rating Novotank very highly, but currently in fifth, a little way behind Kerex. But this is Monza, and the one thing about Monza is it is not short on overtaking opportunities. And in fact, Kerex has caught up to the back of Ali K. So of course, all these drivers have DRS. This is the problem for Ali K. Is yes, he did open a bit of a gap being in clean air, but everyone behind him has got DRS on him. So will there be enough of an overspeed heading towards the first?
Kerex looks quite far back. I don't think he goes for the move here. Yeah, he slots back into it, getting really close actually under braking. Possibly on the next lap, so watch out for that. He seems pretty close now. I noticed Ali K made a mistake on the previous lap, in this very chicane we're about to come into, locking up a wheel and running a little bit wide, allowing Carrick's to catch up. Doesn't do it this time though, but Carrick's now right behind Ali K and is able to just follow him and wait for his opportunity. There are a lot of long straights at Monza, so he definitely will get one.
Ooh, bit of a slide from Nervo Tank behind.
I didn't see that.
Well, it wasn't massive, but there was definitely opposite lock going on there, so he's lost a bit of ground to Carex and Ali K. In fact, this is...
Yeah, he has quite an aggressive driving style and does like to burn through his tires very quickly, but he's still fast enough that it compensates for that. And Carrick's actually going really slowly there. I don't know what's going on as Nervotank tries to go for the move.
Well, I was on board with Carex. He put his hand up in the air. Nervotank sets the fastest lap, so Nervotank, I think, made a bit of contact with Carex, but actually Ali K looks like he might lose two positions. Well, Carex locking up both front wheels, and in fact,
Nervotank around the outside, but Ali K, will he get the better run out of the corner? No! And Ali K is down to 5th.
Down to 5th, but that will probably be temporary. I mean, he's already sizing up Nervotank. Not quite the case there, but no, I mean, yeah, he's down to 5th, but I'm sure that's temporary. And in fact, actually, it's not just Carex, Nervotank and Ali K. I know we're just mentioning them, but Clarky and Ollie D are also in this train, could easily get involved. Alex isn't too far behind, only 1.5 seconds behind, and then there is a bit of a gap, actually, from H Racing Green, who is in 9th place. He's kind of got his own separate train, H Racing Green Synthetic, Big C, Wooly. Simo, who is 13th, but he has got the medium tyres on. And Jake LFC, I don't know what's happened to him. I presume he's coming to the pits.
Yeah, he's on the mediums, so I'm not sure if he started on those.
Yes, he did pit. He has pitted. Actually, hang on, we're looking up towards the front. RC Alonso might be overtaken by a Ressi here, heading towards the first chicane contact.
What is contact?
Yeah, a Ressi hit the side of RC Alonso.
I was fairly sure Ressi was backing out of that one, but seemingly not.
RC Alonso weaving from side to side going around the Curva Grande, so those two fired up. This is, well, we didn't see a great deal of action between them, but now it's heated up a lot. So yeah, it's one move made by
Carrick's as well. So now with that contact, they're allowing Nervotank, who is now in clean air. He can push. He is fast. We know that, and they now gave Nervotank the opportunity to catch up to them. Now Nervotank just needs to pull away from this train and actually start setting some fast laps, because battling is going to slow him down, and Carrick's does not look to be dropping off. In fact, Tali looks to be dropping
opposite. No, it's the problem. It's obviously Nervotank, he knows what he has to do. He just has to stay in 3rd, keep it in clean air, and then hope that a Ressi and RC Alonso tank will speak, of which RC Alonso has come into the pits now. This is right at the start of the pits window, so he's going to take off the super softs and will fit on the soft tyres. Pretty conventional one-stop strategy here for the Italian Grand Prix, but he's actually, yeah,
maybe
exactly.
He got some damage from the incident with the Ressi, so we might see that in the stewards actually after the race.
Quite possibly, but also it does mean that maybe a Ressi himself got damage. And if that's the case and he has a slower pit stop due to a front wing change, it might mean that we don't see RC Alonso or a Ressi in the race lead. It could end up being, well, Carex is currently in 2nd, having passed Nervotank. So actually, if both of those two have got damage, yellow flags out.
Oh, that's why H Racing Green and Big C, and there's quite a lot of carnage as Wooly hits right into the side pod of Big C and loses his front wing. I think Big C's got damage as well.
Yeah, I thought the yellow flag briefly. I thought that was due to Synthetic, who I saw was off the track, but no, it was definitely due to that incident between Big C and Wooly. Now, Kerex has caught
Yeah,
up
Wooly has nothing
slightly
on the left
to
side of his
Aresi.
wing. Alonso
Yes, actually,
choosing to go for the soft tire on his pit stop. Jake chose the mediums, so a bit of a split strategy there.
well, Alex is in the pits right now, and he is fitting on the soft tyres. So most people who are pitting seem to be fitting on the soft tyres.
Also, the battle for second looks to calm down a little as Tank slotting in behind Carrick's, possibly hoping for a bit of a push later in the race.
Well, from where I'm sitting, well, actually, well, okay, maybe not, but it does seem wise to just for Tank to just let Kerex put in the fast laps, because Kerex has been closing up ever so slightly on Aresi. Now, if Aresi has got front wing damage, slower pit stop, Kerex could easily find himself in the race lead, depending on RC Alonso. RC Alonso, speaking of which, isn't actually in any traffic. But yeah, and we should mention actually, Ali K is down in 5th place. He's been overtaken by Clarky.
Yeah, and he
So
looks to be
clearly
under pressure
something
by
happened
Oli
there.
as well. Maybe he is just going for a more conservative tire setup, and maybe trying to push out his stint on the soft tires. Everyone pits except for Tank and Ali K.
Well, I'm looking at Aresi.
Alright.
He's fitting on the soft tyres. That seems to be the favoured strategy. And in
He
fact,
was
I think he was
held up
slightly
by-
held up.
Yeah, by Clarky coming into the pits, I think, but still Rejoin's in the lead.
Well, RC
Should Rejoin
Alonso,
in the net lead?
I'm on board with him. He's coming down the start-finish straight right now, so he's gunning it 200 miles an hour. There
No,
is
he's not gonna
RC
make it.
Alonso.
He's not gonna make it.
No.
The interesting thing
he's-
is, now Carrix is right behind Aresi because Aresi got held up in the pits. So the lead he built up over the first 9 laps has all disappeared.
Yeah, has all disappeared, and Aresi currently 22.8 seconds behind Tank, who hasn't pitted yet. Now, I don't know what the general time spent in the pit lane is, but it is quite possible that Aresi might not end up in the race lead, although Aresi is actually catching up on Tank, so it looks like you want to get off those super softs. They're just worn, beyond worth at this point. But Tank, yep, he is coming into the pits this lap, and so is Ali K.
But they will have one lap fresher soft tires, so maybe it will be something to watch out for later in the race.
Certainly so, but Tank in the pits now, and well, a couple of people have passed the pits, but they're outside contenders. Aresi coming down the start-finish straight now, currently in 5th place, but he is going to retake the effective race lead. Kerex is in a net 2nd place,
When it's
but
really close
Tank
between
might not
Tank
even be in a
and
net
Asi
3rd.
Alonso, as Nova is on cold tires here and couldn't hold it. They're down the inside, and Alonso takes the place. Even Clarky looking to take the place. Tank still on pretty cold tires, and Clarky might have an opportunity here into this chicane under braking, but just this lot behind him. Doesn't want to get involved and get some wing damage. Probably a wise decision.
So, just while we got a bit of brief restoration to a normal grid order, I know H Racing Green is in 1st and Simo 2nd, but those two will be coming into the pits just whenever their strategies play out. But currently, Aresi is in 3rd place, an effective race lead. Kerex is in a net 2nd, but is all over the back of Aresi. So now, the battle for the race lead is no longer between RC Alonso and Aresi, it's between Aresi and Kerex. And Kerex only started racing in this league just a few rounds ago, so he is still, this season, fairly new. He hasn't done all the races, unlike Aresi.
So 122.9. and looks to be having a look to the inside here with the massive toe from the DRS around the outside, and he actually gets it done. Yeah.
You said that with surprise, like you didn't expect that to happen.
Well, yeah, around the outside of turn 1, I mean, that's pretty good. I was expecting a bit of a more aggressive defense from Aresti, but probably doesn't want to get involved in trouble either after the incident with Alonso earlier. But yeah,
I think
Carrick's showing quite a bit of speed. He's actually even pulling away from Aresti.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It was a half a second gap heading up towards the Ascari chicane. So all right, okay, a mid-race prediction. I know this is a bit of a dangerous thing to do, but Carrick's is looking strong. In fact, yeah, he's got half a second, temporarily a 6/10 of a second lead. So do you reckon it's going to be between these two, Carrick's and Aresti, or do you reckon Novotank, RC Alonso, those guys who were just a couple of seconds behind, do you reckon they'll be able to come back and, you know, and actually still have a chance to win this race?
Well, I think, looking at it right now, Carrick's is the fastest driver right now. So he is expected to pull away from Aresti, although he made a bit of a mistake there. And Novotank's dropping back. Let me have a look
he was just pushed into the gravel by RC Alonso. No real contact, but just no space was left for Novotank. So that was what happened there. That was
aggressive defense then. I know Novotank is a very aggressive attacker, but possibly too aggressive on that occasion. Although I have no doubt that he will be able to get back past him if he is fast enough.
I'll tell you what, the one thing I don't doubt is that we're going to see more overtakes. Because this has been, I know this game, it's got a bit of a reputation. Novotank with a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, he just got Ascari there as I was looking at him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a pretty obvious penalty. But that does remind me, Carrick's has himself got a 3-second time penalty. So as it stands, if the race finished now, he would finish in second place. Aresti would, well, take the effective race win once you take out H Racing Green and Simo. So Carrick's has got to win by 3 seconds, and you know, in a lot of circuits that's tricky, but especially one where there's 2 DRS straights and it's just a constant slipstream affair. That's going to be difficult to do. But that's, yeah, as I was saying, this game, F1 2017, it's got a bit of a reputation for producing boring races, not many overtakes. This race has been the exact opposite. There's been overtakes every lap, I think, pretty much, with Carrick's currently in 3rd, Aresti 4th, RC Alonso 5th, Clarkey in 6th, with Novotank 7th, Ali K all the way down in 8th. And Ali K, well, for a while it looked like Ali K was going to, well, he was in 3rd place, and now down in 8th.
Yeah, he looks to be...
effective net 6th.
He looks to be struggling quite a bit, which is not what I expected from Ali K at all. Yeah, I'm really surprised at this. Especially he has 1 lap fresher tires as well. I mean, he should be at least maintaining the gap to Novotank. But he looks to be dropping back into the clutches of Alex and Ollie D, who are both pretty good drivers as well. I mean, everyone here is good. They're in the best tier on PS4 after all.
Yeah,
but you mentioned Carrick's penalty. The qualifying was close, so we know the drivers are pretty close. I'm not sure if he is going to pull away those 3 seconds. Aresti looks to be keeping up just fine. And I do believe Aresti isn't going to get a penalty, at least from my experience.
Well, I'm currently looking at the race director screen. I'll just point out the drivers who have penalties. So Woolly's got a 3-second time penalty. So has Novotank. So has Carrick's. Novotank, it says on lap 9 got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's what it says for Novotank.
Yeah,
But,
it has happened before. I can say that.
but that was on lap 9, and don't you normally have to serve stop-goes within 3 laps? So shouldn't he, if he had a stop-go penalty...
On this game it gets added to your race time in the end, I think.
Oh, so he doesn't have to actually come in the pits then?
Yeah, but if he does come into the pits, he will wait the extra 5 seconds.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah, so other drivers have penalties, because we've seen quite a few penalties already, even though we're only about halfway into the race. Yeah, Novotank has got... Oh no, sorry, I've already said about that. Ollie D himself has got a 3-second time penalty, and so has Jake LFC.
Yeah, this track, it requires quite a lot of precision with the chicanes, and just cut one of them a bit too much and you will get a warning, and obviously 3 warnings is a time penalty. It is a very easy thing to do.
Wow, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that from a former top tier AOR driver. He's supposed to be the cleanest, most, you know, best drivers. So
Well, yeah, but sometimes
I guess that is...
Sometimes you just push a little bit too hard and you miss the apex by a couple of centimeters and you can get a warning.
I guess that is one of the main tips, isn't it? Well, I guess that is kind of the real aim, to get, you know, to straight line the corner as much as possible without actually cutting it. I guess that is kind of basically the real aim, isn't it?
You always want to keep at least 2 wheels on the track. That's the best way
yes.
that's the best way to avoid getting penalties, but you know, not every lap is going to be perfect like that. Sometimes you will just run off. And when you do run off, the game will give you a warning. Because you're already going quite a bit faster than what the game is expecting you to be. Because, I mean, these guys are the best drivers on PS4.
Well, the best drivers, I mean, currently, Carex, who's done brilliantly well actually defending his effective race lead, is coming up behind... Well, not traffic, because this is a genuine overtake. There's no blue flags here, because Simo is in a genuine second place. That means Carex has got to...
If I was Simo here, I wouldn't battle him too hard, because you're not really going to gain anything from it. You'll just drop 20 seconds behind after you do make your pit stop. So, I mean, there's no point.
Well, there's no point, but even despite that, this is going to harm Carex a lot. Where you can visibly see that Carex, the gap he had over Aresi is less than what it was as H Racing Green comes into the pit.
But at the same time, Carex is just passing him now in the start-finish straight. If Aresi doesn't manage to get past soon, he will have to wait quite a long time before the next passing opportunity, which might give Carex the gap that he had again.
Yeah, and I think that is exactly what is going to happen. Already Carex has opened up a...
Yeah, Resi needs to get past here, otherwise he gets stuck in the Lesmos, which is not fun, and it looks to be exactly what's happening, as you see.
Well, Carex has got nearly a 1 second gap, and at this circuit it's going to be crucial, because once you're more than a second behind, you're outside of DRS range, and this circuit, it's effectively an oval with some chicanes. If you don't have DRS, it does become sort of significantly more difficult to actually keep up with the driver ahead, which I think is what we have seen with Ali K, who is struggling to keep up with the likes of Novotank and Clarkey, because, well, he's got to contend with drivers behind him as well as not have the benefit of DRS. But Aresi, I think if he doesn't pass into Parabolica, he's going to spend an entire lap stuck up behind Simo. So would you say this is a case of Simo defending overly aggressively, or is this just Aresi not having speed?
I think Aresi is just really passive. He should be quite a bit more aggressive, because this might be the race winning moment here for Carex. Because now he has clean air, Aresi no longer is in DRS range, so Carrick can just put in a couple of fast laps now and start to pull away.
Well, as we've already said, I believe Carrick is still holding the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He certainly did set it.
I think it's synthetic, actually. He said a 122.8.
Oh. Oh, well, but still. Carrick, I mean, you've said it yourself that Carrick does appear to be one of, if not the fastest driver out there currently. I mean, that explains why he's leading the Grand Prix and is nearly 2 seconds ahead of Aresi. Simo, maybe, I mean, well, I mean, it wasn't really Simo's fault. He was just driving around doing his own race, but Aresi being stuck behind Simo has cost him significantly. He's now, you know, Aresi is now 1.8 seconds behind Carrick.
There's another penalty for Novotank. I just followed him. Must have cut a Scary again.
Yeah, I do worry for Novotank because he was in a good position and in theory, on the face of it, he still is in 6th place, but with all the penalties he's accrued, he could be dropping way down the order. He might end up only scoring 1 or 2 points this Grand Prix. It's quite likely at the moment with... So I think he's got 2 3-second penalties plus a stop-go penalty. So that's going to add up to a lot. And, you know, we're only lap 19, so potentially he could get another one. Head tracing green. Staying the fastest lap.
He usually wants to be in the race lead at this stage, because at least that's what he's done in seasons when I've raced against him. To the point where any penalties he gets don't matter, because the gap is already big enough. But right now he seems to be struggling. He lost touch with Alonso and Clark ahead of him, and there is 11 seconds of penalties hanging over him. So not in a great position at all, as Clark actually gets a penalty. Oh, and he runs very wide. Must have run wide
behind Simo.
On the right-hander at Ascari. Usually that gives a penalty. And Big C as well gets a penalty, down in 11th. He is really struggling as well, down 3 places from his grid position. And behind Synthetic as well. Currently not in the points, and that certainly isn't going to help him at all. And Harry, obviously behind, is quite a bit faster on the super soft tire.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we saw, we just set the fastest lap of the race not that long ago. But Simo, I think, is going to cause more disruption in the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th place, because Simo currently in 3rd, but there's RC Alonso, Clarkey, Novotank is now caught up to those two, and well, potentially even Ali K could catch up. This could be the opportunity Ali K needs to catch back up to RC Alonso, Clarkey, Novotank, because, well, going around the Lesmos, I mean, obviously the Lesmos not really an overtaking place, but heading up towards the Ascari chicane, and still none of these guys have got past Simo, but I think around the outside heading into the Ascari chicane, RC Alonso isn't going to do it.
That's actually very aggressive defending from Simo.
Would you expect that? Would you expect him to be aggressive?
I don't know what he... Oh, there's a bit of contact on my screen there with Novotank and Alonso, but as I was saying, I have no idea what Simo is doing right now. He hasn't made a pit stop. He has to make a pit stop because it's mandatory, and he's just holding up these guys for basically no reason at all. Like, when he rejoins, he will rejoin in like 12th place.
Second to last, I think. Yeah.
And he will be on... Yeah, he will be on super soft tires, but he will only be on them for 6 laps, while the other drivers have been on those tires for 8 or 9 laps. So I don't think this is a very good strategy he's on right now.
No, and Simo, in races past, Simo has pulled off some brilliant strategies. Monaco springs to mind. Simo, his strategy at Monaco was brilliant. It was masterful, actually. Ali K didn't expect... He thought Simo was, just out of the running, and then Simo ended up winning that race. But I'll be honest, looking at the action now, it does kind of make me wish that drivers don't have to come into the pits, because Simo is livening up this monstrous battle for third place. 4 cars, all separated by absolutely
that's
nothing
a
at
very
all.
good overtake that Alonso is about to pull off. Around the outside
Well, he
of
has pulled off.
Parabolic, just a lot more grip on the soft tires, and Simo trying to fight
But I
back
think
there.
Simo might re-overtake.
Oh, and look at Nervet on the outside, on the grass. That's,
Oh, I think there's contact between Simo and RC Alonso. There's been a four-wide
there's quite a lot of
car
contact.
crash. And Ali K has gained places. I said that Simo could open up the opportunity Ali K needed to gain places. I didn't expect it to really happen, and I didn't expect it to happen in that fashion. Ali K is in 5th, Ollie D is in 4th, Alex is in 3rd. Last time I remember, Alex was in like 8th place.
I
Wow.
have actually no idea what just happened. Alright then.
I mean, we've seen some incidents, some crashes, some coming togethers this season so far, but I think that takes the cake. Certainly, I think that's got the most cars involved in one crash. 4 cars all caught up, and I hate to say, but that was reminiscent of the incident that RC Alonso got involved in earlier on. RC Alonso was around the outside and then just got tagged by the cars behind.
This time there were quite a few more cars involved. And Nervet left the session.
Well,
Possibly rage quit? Although it could
I
be a
think
disconnect.
so. Yeah, well, to me that screams of a rage quit. He was in worst case scenario, what, 5th place?
Yeah, well, he
was down in
going to
11th,
score
so
points anyway with his penalties.
that's also a very good point. Actually, he did have penalties, so there was really very little hope for him. So, well, my attention's now turned to the new people battling for 3rd place. It is currently Alex in 3rd place. Ollie D, though, only 0.2 of a second behind. Ali K isn't too far behind. Clarkey is now in 6th. So this is, wow, okay, so now we've got some completely new drivers to suss out and watch. But Alex in 3rd, Ollie D 4th. This is going to be incredibly close, but Ollie D looking very racy.
How did these guys end up battling for the podium?
I don't know. I really don't. Well, those drivers who did get caught up, RC Alonso is in 7th, so he is actually leading those cars that were caught up in that incident.
I think
Simo and
Clarkey actually was caught up as well, so he would be the leading one.
Actually, yeah, I believe you are right there. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. Clarkey, Alonso, Nervet, and Simo. I think that's the 4.
Yeah, you are right there, definitely. So Clarkey hasn't actually, in theory, I don't think Clarkey's actually lost that many positions then. I suppose not really. So, yeah, it's very strange, that incident, but Clarkey not able to pass Ali K. Alex still in 3rd, Ollie D still in 4th, but still close. The battle for the lead, well, there isn't really much of a battle, so to speak. Kerex is still just about outside of DRS range. He's got, it's now just over 1 second gap Kerex has over Aresi. So
Aresi closed up. It was 1.5 when they were held up by Simo, so Kerex hasn't done enough to pull away for his penalty to not matter, but Aresi doing a really good job. He only needed to keep the gap lower than 3 seconds. He is closing the gap as well, but I don't think he's gonna go for it. He probably knows he is the current race leader.
well, let's hope so, but I'll tell you what, if he doesn't know, or if he can't guarantee it, it would be interesting to see a potential last lap lunge.
Oh, and
Ollie D has done a
Speaking
brutal
of a last lap lunge,
Yeah, yes.
although it's not the
although
last
Alex
lap,
is still there.
it's still a pretty good lunge. I'm not sure if he needed this, because he just gave Alex the opportunity to pass him back on the start-finish straight, which he just did. And Alex retains 3rd place.
I'm still getting over the shock that it's actually Alex in third place. This is no disrespect to Alex. It's just, you know, what, 5 laps ago, Alex was towards the bottom end of the points, and now it looks like he might end up getting a podium position. This is completely out of nowhere.
I think I'm seeing a bit of rain there.
Rain?
Yeah, there's definitely rain.
There is. Yeah, you are right, actually. There is rain. I think it is too light and too late to make an impact.
Maybe that's what Sima was hoping for. To maybe, if the rain came earlier, maybe he would have pitted straight for Inters.
Yeah, Simo still hasn't pitted.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to pit within the next lap, isn't he? Because he has to pit. Well, he has to, or else he'll be disqualified. Yeah. JKLFC has just fitted on the intermediate tyres down in 13th place.
Well, he has nothing to lose, so let's see where that
True.
gets. I do think the track is still not wet enough. There doesn't seem to be any spray at all. Well, there is a little bit, but it's not enough, I'd say.
No, I still maintain, even if the rain fell down as hard as it possibly could, you wouldn't want to fit on the intermediates. It is just too late. But, you know, we saw at Belgium last time out, the previous Grand Prix. There, the rain, the track conditions changed almost instantaneously. But I don't think that's going to be the case here, although Carex has now opened up a bit of a gap on Aresi, a bit more of a gap, I should say. And I wonder if DRS will be restricted soon, because that would be a bit of a shame, because that would, well, it would quell the chance for there to be any last lap overtake. But Ollie D still incredibly close to Alex.
I know Alex is very bad in the wet weather, so I believe...
Shouldn't have said that. Commentator's curse, potentially. Let's hope not.
DRS is still enabled, I can see in Ollie's rear wing. As he is putting a lot of pressure on Alex. And
if you were Ollie D right now, would you just go for a last lap lunge? Would you, even if it looks like it's slightly too big of a gap, would you go for it since it is the last lap? Actually, I don't think he needs to do a lunge, because Alex, I think, just got his tyres a bit too cold, a bit too wet, deep into Parabolica.
Yeah, probably.
And of course, Ollie D's gonna have DRS.
I did say he's not the best driver in the wet.
You shouldn't have said that. You cursed him. Ollie D, we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Ollie D's locked up. It is definitely actually getting close to intermediate conditions.
The driver
Ollie
that is
D
good in the wet is Ali K, as he looks to have gained a place on Clarky. I think he was already ahead.
Hang on, Carex is only 1/10 of a second ahead of Aresi. So I know there's still penalties involved anyway, so I believe Aresi would have won anyway due to penalties. But in these sorts of conditions, surely it is incredibly easy to just lock up, make a mistake. Well, we've already seen Alex and Ollie D lock up in the past lap.
Well, I haven't raced Carex, so I don't know anything about his ability in the wet.
Well, his ability, I mean, it looks like his ability
in the dry was pretty good, but I mean, he did pick up that penalty, and he hasn't done enough to make it not count. And it looks like Aresi will win the race.
Yeah, Aresi ended up winning by 2.3 seconds once you factor in Carex's penalty. Ollie D is going to take third place, barring any penalties, but I don't believe there are any.
Alex dropped.
Actually, there is. Ollie D did have a penalty, so Alex did finish in third come the end. Ali K in fifth, just behind Ollie D. Synthetic in sixth, RC Alonso seventh, Clarky in eighth. I believe he might have potentially lost some positions due to penalties.
Was
Big
sixth.
C in
Clarky
ninth.
was sixth. He definitely lost positions. And it was very close there between sixth and eighth. Clarky needed just about 8/10 in order to keep his sixth place, but it didn't happen, and Big C up to ninth.
Matt, there's been a post-race crash. I'm looking on board from H Racing Green.
Yeah, so
there's been a post-race crash. So this race, it's been, I wouldn't say full of incidents, but there's been a lot of close racing. There's been a couple of incidents, both of them involving RC Alonso. I'm just saying that, just pointing it out. But yeah, and even after the race, we've seen a collision. Simo in 11th, just about missed out on points, but he is on the intermediate tyres,
Yeah,
so I think that was his
He had to
strategy.
make the pit stop. He would have hoped the rain would have come earlier than it did. Then he was looking in a very good position, but as it is, it's only 11th place for him.
So we're going to see the podium ceremony right now, and well, when it loads, it should be Aresi on the top step of the podium, the man who in season 13 finished second, but this season, season 14, Aresi has gone one place better, winning the Italian Grand Prix in the season 14 of the top tier, the F1 tier of AOR. And there you go, so you got Aresi in first, second place is Kerex, and third place is Alex. So actually a podium you would sort of see in real life. You've got one Ferrari driver and two Mercedes drivers. So there you go. Alex, still a shock how he finished in third place, but that was due to, of course, that four-car collision that we saw towards the end of the race. So the race order, it's Aresi, Kerex, Alex, Ollie D in fourth place, Ali K in fifth. Then you got Synthetic, Carlos Sainz, as it says, is in seventh. Clarky, Big C, H Racing Green, who took the final points position. Simo, strange strategy, didn't work, down in 11th place, but qualified in 13th, so actually an improvement there. Then it's Max Verstappen, Jake LFC, and Roman Grosjean. Roman Grosjean, of course, Novo Tank. And Novo Tank, close to scoring points, should have done, but then, of course, that notorious, I think, four-car collision did it for him. So what? Okay, so we always do this at the end of every race. What would you rate the race out of 10?
Well, I mean, it was a pretty interesting race. It had incidents, it had overtakes, it had a pretty good lead battle as well, and it had rain in the end. I think it spiced things up. So I think it's a pretty good 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up. You said it's got, it had overtakes, it had everything, this race. And as I said during the race commentary, F1 2017, it's got a bit of a reputation for producing boring procession races, no overtakes, but this race, okay, sure, it was around Monza, the king of straight line circuits, but there was overtakes every lap, and, a very decent, thoroughly enjoyable race. And I'm not even lying when I say that, unlike previous times. No, this race was genuinely completely enjoyable. Yeah, a 9 out of 10, I'd have to say. It was very exciting and unpredictable come the end as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know whether, because I know you're hosting the party, I don't know whether we're going to have any driver interviews. I don't know whether you had that planned or... Well,
I wasn't planning to.
Okay, well, it's just, I probably should have asked you that before we started the stream.
Yeah, Alan told me about the interviews, but I believe he told me we are missing them for this round.
Okay, well, if we're not going to do driver interviews, then I guess there's everything. So I don't know whether you want anything to add. I don't know whether, because since you won't be, I believe, as far as I know, in the commentary box next race, I don't know if there's anything you want to add, final thoughts on this race,
Well, I mean, it was an interesting experience to see this from the commentary side of things. I mean, I already raced here as a driver, and I know it is a pretty high pressure environment, so as a commentator, it was a little bit more chilled out, I have to say.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm not a league racer in any sense, but yeah, I can imagine. Especially top tier AOR, that's going to be high pressure stuff. But yeah, I believe that is everything. So yeah, I never actually sign off the stream, so I don't know quite what Alan normally says. But yeah, I think that is everything. So I hope everyone watching, I hope you did enjoy this stream, this race, a thoroughly enjoyable race as far as I'm concerned. RBOS, massive thanks being in the commentary box. It was nice to actually have a former AOR driver to actually get that sort of driver perspective. Very interesting. And thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
So yes, we will see AOR will be returning, I believe, next week for the Singapore Grand Prix. I believe it will be Singapore, isn't it?
Yeah,
After
yeah,
Italy?
Singapore is after Italy.
Yes, that has the potential to be another carnage-filled race. Street circuit, night track, a lot of laps. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
potential for something to
and
go wrong.
a
So
lot of walls as well. I think drivers will be making quite a lot of mistakes there. We'll see a
well,
lot of lost front wings as well.
all right. Well, I'm looking forward to it then. If you, as a former top-tier AOR driver, are saying there's going to be a lot of lost front wings, then that's going to be fun. So yes, next week, same time, 8 o'clock on the Apex Online Racing channel. Be sure to join me, and I believe it'll be Alan again, Alan Cavanaro joining me. And yes, I think that's everything. So I'll see everyone watching. I'll see you next time, next week, 8 o'clock.